same after Backroom beat the hell out of him. So it says, "What have you done for me lately?" Well, he beat the hell out of Tim Tszyu, crushed him in 3 rounds. Who Boots beat?
So do you
Stanionis,
think?
Stanionis didn't even have Stanionis. Lord bless him. He didn't even have no wins like Tim Tszyu did. He wasn't looking destructive like Tim Tszyu was. So that's his best name on his record for real. That's his best fight was against that guy who was a champion because what's the kid's name that gave him? He fought him twice. He wasn't a champion, and he came from nowhere. Who we call him, Karen? Yeah. And so who the guy that beat Rashidi Ellis? He was
Roman
a
Villa.
he was a standing your fate right there, you know. Okay, and he looked good against this guy. You know, he looked spectacular against this guy.
Mm. Team Crawford, they want to see more from Jaron Boots Ennis. Listen, the clip you heard is a brand new exclusive from Mill City Boxing, where Team Crawford's own Bernie the Boxer, he sets the standard and says he needs to see more from Boots than what we've been seeing. Sound like what I've been saying. Period. So, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. We're going to talk about it. So, I was listening to this interview that was sent to me from, again, Mill City Boxing, link in the description. And Bernie the Boxer, Team Crawford, he's kind of clapping back at Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis making noise over the weekend with crushing Lima. And to be honest, it's hard to argue with what he's saying.
Guy, but what I'm saying is this: what have you done for me lately? Okay, like all I'm saying is Stanionis didn't even have the build up that Tim Tszyu had. He didn't even have nowhere near close to that. And so this guy goes in there with Tim Tszyu, who just fought Bandura, 6'6", punching, boxing motherfucker, to a standstill for real. It was a close fight. It could have went either way, you know, with a big ass gash in his head. With a big ass gash. So he was at a disadvantage. He fighting this motherfucker and the gash, and he damn near won the fight. It was narrow, you know. Comes back, fights this guy. Maybe they moved him too fast. They didn't really look. The guy didn't look as good as he did when he won the title. He didn't look
You talking about
spectacular, none
Bachman?
that they saw. So they took him on, trying to get another shot at the title, and it ended disaster for him, you know. So, but like this guy looks destructive. So, and he's the champion now. So this is what I'm saying. He's a IBF champion now, right? He beat a guy that was considered who was a world champion, because Tim Tszyu was a world champion, right? He was WBO champion, right?
Yeah.
Was he world champion? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy won his title, and how when they stripped Charlo of his titles, he fought a vacant for the vacant title, won the title, first title defense. He
No, he
destroys
didn't.
Tim
He
Tszyu.
didn't win the title from Tim Tszyu.
No, I know he didn't. I'm saying he won the fight. He won in the vacant title fight,
The
right?
vacant. Yep. Vacant. My
Exactly.
bad.
And
Yep.
then in his first title defense, he fought Tim Tszyu, right?
And
Mm-hmm.
cooked him.
In his first title defense, he fought Tim Tszyu, who was a former world champion, right? He's coming off one loss, like I said, a close loss to Fandura with all the attributes, with a gash in his head, correct?
Yeah.
So
Did he fight Joey Spencer in between for a state?
Yeah, Tim Tszyu did. So the bottom line is Team Crawford, they don't sound fully impressed. Like they need to see more. Now, listen, I like Crawford. I like Boots. I like boxing. It is what it is. Hard to argue with what Bernie's saying is what I've been saying. My thing is this. Boots is looking the goods. Eye test, he's passing all the eye tests. Fun fights, fun to watch. Not really charismatic on the microphone, but he's putting in work with what he has. Like the fighters that are in front of him, he cooking them, right? And putting on sensational performances. So he looks very talented and raw and ready for the next level. My biggest thing is when Boots teamed up with Eddie Hearn, I was like, what can Eddie Hearn provide Boots? He's never made a guy who was not a star into a star in America. I'm not talking about Anthony Joshua. Meet with me, it's mod. I'm not talking about, oh yeah, mate, one more week, mate. I'm not talking about none of that UK stuff. in America, Eddie Hearn has not made a star. He's never produced a star where he took him from unknown commodity to in America. Even with Joshua was fighting on Showtime, getting U.S. distribution at the time, and he pulled him and took him to DAZN that nobody had. So Showtime was still around for a bit longer after that move. So you took him from a linear network in America and then took AJ to an obscure app that you have to, pay to play. Then you bring Anthony Joshua, he's supposed to fight Gerald Miller. Miller pops dirty. You bring him to America to fight a replacement, Andy Ruiz, and the rest is history. He got cooked in that fight and knocked out. In New York, you ain't never brought him back to America since. He probably has cobwebs and nightmares about fighting here in America because when he was that far away from home in a fight, it didn't play out well. Psychologically, that can do something to the boxer. So, again, even a guy who at one point showed potential, like Americans could be interested, like UK fighter Anthony Joshua, you made the wrong moves, in my opinion, that made him lesser. And he could have fought Wilder, and then you prevented that fight from happening, which would have also made Joshua bigger if he were able to beat a guy like Wilder. So I question Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis. Yes, Ennis would be active and make good paychecks, but he hasn't provided no fight that I want to see Jaron Ennis in for real. You know what I mean? Bernie saying Stanionis was cool, but listen, those who know boxing, Stanionis is cool, but he wasn't like world beater, urban legend type of champion where it's like, man, this is a long-standing champion, no one can beat him. He had unfortunate scenarios with Virgil Ortiz, so he never got that opportunity, and then he had inactivity. Then he came back and fought Gabriel Maestre, and he didn't even look good in that fight, and then Boots fought him after that. So you had a more active Boots against an inactive Stanionis and a guy coming off a suspect performance. So it was cool, good performance, but we still got to see more. And it's going to be a lot of pressure on Boots and Eddie Hearn. I'm going to tell you why. 154, I've been on record saying, is the most stacked division in all of boxing. Not 175, not heavyweight, not cruiserweight, not this, not that, not lightweight. The most stacked division is 154 pounds. You have Virgil Ortiz. You have possibly Errol Spence. You got Jaron Ennis. You have Boachuk. You have Brandon Adams. You have Tim Tszyu, Fundora. Keith Thurman looks to be there, right? You got Erickson Lubin. You got Israel Madrimov. You got Bakram Murtazayev. You got hitters up there, bro. And even the guys like Erickson Lubin are very dangerous. Even though he has losses, he's still dangerous. Jesus Ramos, right? Tons of talent in this division. So the pressure is really going to be on. Will Boots' career with Eddie Hearn be another Demetrius Andrade? So far, it's looking like it. But they got to deliver a big fight because Bernie's right. Team Crawford's right. Bud's already paved his way and made his name and made history with the Undisputed. It's really on the young gun, Boots. He has all the praise, passing all the eye tests. You got to do better than Lima, right? You have to have somebody that could potentially provide resistance. That's why Bernie's like, you need to fight a top guy, a champion. Fight Bakram Murtazayev. He cooked Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu was a warrior, fought with a gash and all these types of things. That would be a great fight for Boots to show us what he really is. But he's like, at least fight Bakram or Virgil. You know what I mean? Xander Zayas, he's young, so I don't know. I think Boots, that'll probably be Boots' easiest fight out of those guys, out of Virgil, Madrimov, guys like Bakram. I think Xander Zayas lacks experience and stuff like that and didn't really look great in his last fight. So I agree with Team Crawford. And people still talking about Boots and Bud. To me, it's a pipe dream because Bud has established himself. And then, you still got Boots needing a big fight.